right, I think we are live, and this is Gogo Erica Sima of September Strategy, and I have with me here Jackie Calloway of MarriageInspiration.com. She is a former client of mine and a continuing presence, really, in my life, and we'll talk about some of that. But why she's here is because I think her story illustrates some of the real tangible benefits that you get when you have a message and you create a platform for your message to go out. And whether your priority is a message for your business, or in her case, there's both a mission priority to her message as well as a marketing priority to her message, but the mission is really first. So if you're thinking about momentum, personal momentum for you as an author, a coach or consultant, an expert or an entrepreneur or a salesperson or speaker, then you really are going to enjoy some of what we talk about. And these are stories directly from her and the work that we did together. Jackie, thank you so much for joining me on this call. I appreciate it.
It is my pleasure to be with you.
Now we kind of had a catch up call yesterday after a few months. I know I've been bad on making sure I'm keeping up as closely as I should be, but you told me about something that's coming up. I want to start with that. I've changed the plan a little bit. But you told me about something that you're expecting to do next year and an invite that you just got.
Yes, we were invited, my husband and I were invited to be the keynote speakers at a marriage conference in the Grand Cayman Islands. And we're excited about that.
Okay.
And that'll be in November of next year. So in the next few weeks, we will be going on a cruise. And one of the stops just happens to be the Grand Cayman Islands. And they're going to pick us up, allow us to tour the island and to meet some of their parishioners. And so that is one of the benefits that have come from our being on the website that you so graciously put together and helped us to format several years ago. It's been several years now that we've done that. And currently we have 83 pages of marital and relationship help, free information that people can go there today, even on marriageinspiration.com, and get help for your relationship. So that's one of the more recent activities that we're excited about, that is a direct result of mine and Ronnie meeting you, and you allowing us to share our story, and you helping us to see the value in our life story.
Okay, so if you recall, we met after I had just done a seminar, and I was
Yes.
kind of so just talk about that for a little bit. You reminded me.
It was funny to me because we were in this setting and you stood up and said you had offered your services to all of these people, and you had offered your services free to these people that you were concerned about, you have a heart for, and I think only 10 people, something like that, had accepted your invitation. Well, Ronnie and I were out of town at the time. And when you stood up and said that, I thought, wait a minute, we missed it. We need to talk to you. What did you offer? And you were sharing with us that you wanted to help people move to the next level of with their ideas, with their vision for the future. And if we were open to that, you were still willing to help us. And we said, we sign up today. And that was one of the best decisions that we made.
Now, so just so those who are watching this can be clear, so introduce yourself, what you do, and a bit about your story, even though it's right on the first page of your website, but just
Yes.
humor us.
My husband and I were married for 28 years. And because of adultery and lying, cheating, drugs, a lot of things, we divorced for 7 years. And now it is 19 years ago. God miraculously reconciled us, first to himself and then to one another. So I had written a book to chronicle those events. And the name of the book is Love That Would Not Let Me Go. And when you didn't even know that I had written the book,
No.
and when you read the book, you said to me, I am going to help you turn your tears into gold. And I thought, wow, that sounds good. Because the tears certainly didn't seem like gold, all of that, all the misery and the pain and the devastation that we had gone through. How are you going to turn that into gold? And as you spent time with me and shared with me how our story can help so many people, and that was the whole point of my writing the book. We wanted to help people who were in the situations that we had experienced to move from that place, know that they don't have to be stuck in a miserable life for the rest of their lives, but they could move and use what they had walked through to propel them to a better place. And that is what you so graciously have helped us to do. And one of the things, Gogo, as you have coached us over the years, you have awakened in me the unlimited possibilities that God has placed on the inside of me. Now, I knew that well, at first I didn't know I could even write a book. But as I just continued to do what the Lord was instructing me to do, first of all, and just put on paper what had happened, I found out through your coaching that there is a difference in being a writer and an author.
Hmm.
And a writer can write down the events, chronicle the events, or whatever. But an author feels that their story is so valuable that they will also promote it.
Hmm.
And you taught me that I am an author and I needed to promote this story.
And I've been so impressed over the years that you have continued to see the value. When we first met, and I started sharing with you about the asset-based way of looking at yourself, the asset based way of looking at your story, even setbacks, things that had happened in the past, experiences that you had forgotten about on your resume. For instance, you had this impressive resume that some aspects of it you had kind of forgotten about. Oh, I did that. Tell me a little bit about going from writing the book. What were you doing at the time when we met? What were you doing to promote the book?
Well, basically, just doing book signings, going to those places where I had favor, but going back to my hometown where everyone seemed to be excited. And as far as I grew up in West Virginia, it was sort of a small town girl makes good type feeling that they made me feel. All the people, the different Sunday school teachers and classmates, parents, and all came out to the book signing to get a book. We had friends to just, they were yelling out the front door, "You need to come and get Jackie Smith's book." And it was it was just an exciting time. So we went, traveled around the country and did book signings in places where we have friends. And that was basically what we were doing, as well as doing seminars and sharing with people how we were able to reconcile after 7 years of divorce. And people were certainly interested in that. Many churches invited us to come and do seminars, and we were really focusing on the powerful purpose of forgiveness as well as reconciliation. And we really did flesh out what forgiveness looks like. And then we were able to exhibit what reconciliation looks like. Because not only have Ronnie and I forgiven one another, but we are now in a marriage that is joy unspeakable and full of glory. I don't know how else to describe it. There is not a hint of the old marriage. And both of us are in love with one another and hot for each other, even at this age. So that's what we were doing before you came into our lives. And you convinced me that I should take the time and do the work. That's what you kept telling me. If you do the work, it'll pay off. And both of us did the work. And it was tedious at times because some of the things I was having to remember, and there were some emotional things that came up.
Yep.
But because they were emotional for me, I knew that there was someone somewhere who needed to hear this. And we did it.
And I'm glad you brought that point up, because everybody that I'm going to be talking to as part of September Strategy has a message that they're trying to share with an audience. But one of the really powerful binding forces between a platform leader like that and the audience is that shared experience. And so if you can't get through the obstacles or through the resistance to unburden that and to really get that story out, that story is a core asset. And that story is an asset not just for delivering value to an audience and delivering value to the world, but that story is an asset for directing your efforts and allocating your resources, whether it's time, money, attention, whatever. And so it was really impressive. Not everybody's going to have a story like the one that you had, in terms of how dramatic. I was telling you yesterday, you've lived quite a storied life. Um, but the truth is, most people don't realize until they go through the audit just how many stories, how many useful stories that they have, that they've built up in their lives, whether it's from the job, from the journey, whatever it is.
And you helped me to realize that there were so many hidden pockets that you brought out as you were coaching me that I never thought about when you reminded me of my background in broadcasting.
Hmm.
And you kept saying to me, you have the ability to do this and to share your story in a professional manner. Well, I had never looked at it like that. It seems like many times we have different seasons in our lives and we move from one season to the next, and we don't bring that other season with us to enhance where we are today. But you coached me to go back and look at all of the assets that I had in my past that would help me to progress in to have a platform in the future. And I had never, I just had not looked at it like that.
And speaking of platform, one day, I don't know, I think I was still in Denver at that point. You called me and you said some TV producers had come knocking through the website. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yes, interestingly enough, it was the Oprah Winfrey Network. And they contacted us through the website, and they said that they were very interested in our story and they wanted to reenact our story on the program on, it's called Unfaithful is the name of the program. It still airs
I saw
on
it
the
months ago.
network. But we were one of the very first programs, and Oprah herself had to approve the program and the story. And so it still airs. I still have, as a matter of fact, after that program aired the first time, we went on a cruise, and almost immediately there were people there saying, I just saw you on television last night. Weren't you on Oprah? And I was like, yes, we were on Oprah. And so several people bought books, and we found that our cruises, which that is one of the things we enjoy doing. That's one of the activities that we do often to keep the spice in our marriage. And both Ronnie and I enjoy that. So we found out that those are mission trips because inevitably someone is asking, well, what do you do in Denver? And we tell them I'm an author and marriage counselor. Oh, well, we need to sit down and talk to you. That's what a lot of them will say. But we send them to the website. They purchase books. We're always able to encourage people who might be going through difficult situations. But yes, the website attracted Oprah Winfrey.
And and now you have various other. What I really like about your story, and really even about the last update that you gave me, is that you've built this platform. You're coaching people. You're coaching couples. You're counseling them. In some cases, they're flying you out, not just out of the city, but now you're getting the invitations out of the country as well.
Yes,
With all this going on, you're still finding time to go back and reclaim some of your old ideas and some of your old gifts, and bringing
absolutely.
them back into the situation.
Absolutely. We just finished putting together a card game. And this card game is a love that would not let me go communication game for couples. And what we do with that is we have put together several thought provoking questions that will help couples um, more easily communicate with one another, as well as you draw the card and you answer the question. Like, say for instance, one of the questions is, our marriage would be better if my spouse would, and you fill in the blank.
Oh,
And and that will make you stop and think, what is it that can make your relationship better? And it will also inform your spouse as to what they can be doing better and differently. So it's several questions. I won't give it away, but 52 questions, 52 cards. And that is going to be out before Christmas this year.
I'll be looking forward to my copies, and I'll definitely be sharing the links when that comes up. Um, I just want to thank you, because I know with the cruises, one of these days, I keep saying that one of these days we're gonna have to have the whole big destination retreat mastermind cruise, the whole thing going on. Because tell them just how many cruises you had in your first marriage and how many you've had so far in your second.
We had zero in our first marriage. And since 2000, this one coming up will be number 39. So we have been, I think, to every island in the Caribbean and Hawaii and Costa Rica and Panama. And it's just been wonderful. But this is an important point, Gogo. We have to make sure that our relationship stays fresh so that we can minister to other people. We can't be our marriage can't be stale and we're biting and devouring one another and then trying to share with you how to have a good marriage. I'm not ever going to do phony. So it's very important that we go on these cruises because it helps us to stay connected to one another as well as to God. It's time that we have to meditate and to just thank God for the second chance that He has given us to give glory to Him in our marriage.
Well, I want to thank you. I appreciate the time you're giving me. I know there's another cruise just around the corner in a day or two, and you're going to see when you get back that we've gotten going with the September strategy. And I think I just want to share, if you're watching this, that there is value in your story, and that your stories are not just an asset, but they're also a tool. Your stories are a tool for accessing so much more of your life and from your life than you probably think possible right now, or that you've suspected possible, but you've not really had the chance to express. And so I just appreciate you coming on, Jackie, to talk about some of these things. Again, the website is marriageinspiration.com. And for everyone out there who's wondering about building an audience, whether you're a writer or an aspiring writer, or you already have your book written and you're just wondering how to build your own audience, your own platform, so that you can have people coming to you. These are just a few of the stories that help you to understand that it is possible. There is work involved, but the good thing is not random, arbitrary work. It's systematic work. There's actually, right?
Yes, it is. I would say to your audience, Gogo, I would encourage you to hire Coach Gogo. I would encourage it from the bottom of my heart, because my meeting him and having the training that he has given to me, and he's right, it is systematic. It's not haphazard. It has changed my life, and it has caused me to just dig deeper and to go further, and to also be able to see the value in other people's lives. You've given me, I think, that gift also, to be able to pick up on the talents and the gifts that other people have, as we have counseled them and encouraged them. So, audience, don't hesitate. Coach Gogo is the man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.